For decades, General Motors' legendary V8 engines were seen as a symbol of American power. Silverado, Sierra, Tahoe, Suburban. These vehicles were not just big trucks and SUVs. People bought them because they were supposed to be powerful, durable, and built to last. But now, one of GM's most important engines is at the center of a growing crisis. The 6.2-liter L87 V8. Once marketed as a premium engine option, this motor is now being linked to thousands of failure complaints, major recalls, and a serious loss of trust. And the most interesting part is this: GM used to proudly show off this engine. But now, in some vehicles, it almost feels like they are trying to make it disappear. So is this just a bad engine story? Or are we watching a much bigger collapse in GM's V8 reputation? Imagine this. You walk into a Chevy dealership in 2026. You want a large, comfortable, expensive SUV with a powerful V8 engine. Maybe a Tahoe. Maybe a Suburban. Maybe a Silverado. Your budget is ready. You want something reliable, strong, and capable of lasting your family for years. But the engine under the hood may not be as confidence-inspiring as you think. Because the 6.2-liter L87 V8 has become the subject of very serious complaints. Some owners report sudden power loss. Some say the engine stopped without warning. Others claim the engine completely failed. We are not talking about a small oil leak. We are not talking about a simple check engine light. We are talking about a serious problem where some drivers say they lost power suddenly, even at highway speeds. As the issue grew, it eventually led to federal attention and major recalls. According to the claims, hundreds of thousands of vehicles were affected or placed under investigation because of this engine problem. Silverado, Sierra, Tahoe, and Suburban all became part of the controversy. And this raises one very important question. If an engine has a serious problem, why was it allowed to stay on sale for so long? And more importantly, what happens to the people who already bought these vehicles? Because these are not cheap cars. These are expensive family SUVs and trucks, with some versions reaching $90,000, or even over $100,000. People are not just buying an engine. They think they are buying trust. They think they are buying brand reputation. They think they are buying the feeling that this vehicle will not leave them stranded. But when the possibility of engine failure enters the picture, all of that trust starts to fall apart. GM's response under the recall also became a major point of debate. According to reports, when vehicles came into service, technicians performed diagnostic tests on the engine. Some engines were replaced. In other cases, the oil viscosity was changed. The oil was switched from 0W20 to 0W40. On paper, that can provide a thicker oil film when the engine is hot. But the real question is this: if the real problem is not the oil, can changing the oil really solve it? Many critics believe this issue may not be simple enough to explain with oil choice alone. It could be connected to manufacturing quality, part durability, or deeper engineering tolerances. And if that is the case, changing the oil may only be a temporary bandage. What makes this even more concerning is that some owners claim they experienced similar problems even after receiving replacement engines. So the problem becomes this: the old engine failed. A new engine was installed. But is the same risk still there? There is another detail in this story that really stands out. GM used to be proud of its 6.2-liter V8 engine. It was a selling point. It was something they put on the vehicle as a badge. That badge told the buyer, this vehicle is powerful. This vehicle is premium. This vehicle is special. But now, on some new Chevy models, the 6.2 badge does not seem to be highlighted the same way it once was. When you walk through a dealership, you may see TurboMax badges, Duramax badges, or Z71 badges. But seeing a bold 6.2 V8 badge may not be as easy as it used to be. And that makes people ask, is GM still selling this engine while no longer proudly promoting it? This is not absolute proof of anything. But in the car world, badges matter. Brands do not hide successful engines. They promote them. So if an engine is no longer being used as a proud marketing point, that may suggest there is a confidence problem. Now let's move away from the technical side and talk about real owners. Imagine you bought one of these vehicles. You have a monthly payment. You have insurance. Maybe you drive it to work every day. Maybe you take your kids to school in it. Maybe you use it for long family road trips. Then one day, the engine suddenly loses power. That is not just a mechanical problem. That is a trust problem. Because after that moment, you will never look at the vehicle the same way again. Every sound makes you suspicious. Every vibration makes you wonder. Is it starting? You no longer feel relaxed on long trips. And if your vehicle sits in the service department for weeks, the payments do not stop. You are still paying for a vehicle you cannot even drive. And even if GM installs a replacement engine, if it is the same engine, the question never really goes away. Will this one fail too? That is why this is not just a recall issue. This is a brand trust issue. But to be fair, this is not a story about GM doing everything wrong. In fact, GM has some genuinely impressive engines. For example, the 2.7-liter TurboMax is considered by many to be a strong engine. Even though it is a 4-cylinder, it produces impressive torque, works well in daily driving, and has a solid reputation among many owners. Another example is the 6.2-liter V8 used in the Corvette. The Corvette version of the 6.2 V8 has a much better reputation for performance and durability. And that is what makes this situation so frustrating. The same company is clearly capable of building great engines. But at the same time, some of its most important trucks and SUVs are facing serious questions about reliability. So this shows us something important. GM has the engineering ability. The real question is whether that ability is being applied with the same level of quality across every model. So what comes next? GM is known to be working on a new generation of V8 engines. With the new Corvette Grand Sport, a more powerful next-generation V8 architecture entered the conversation. That created a lot of expectation. People started asking, will GM bring this new engine technology to trucks like the Silverado and Sierra? But this is where we need to be careful. An engine developed for a Corvette is not the same thing as an engine developed for a large truck. The purpose is different. The load is different. The cooling requirements are different. The production volume is different. So even if a technology works well in the Corvette, that does not automatically mean it will work perfectly in trucks. What GM needs to do is not just announce a new engine. GM needs to rebuild confidence in its quality control and manufacturing process, because buyers are no longer looking only at horsepower. Now they are asking a much more important question. Will this engine actually last for years? So if you are thinking about buying a GM truck or SUV right now, what should you do? First, if you are looking at a vehicle with the 6.2 L87 V8, be extremely careful. Even if the vehicle is new, check its service history, warranty coverage, and recall status. Do not take a big risk without written warranty protection. Second, research the alternative engines. The 6.6-liter gasoline V8 in heavy-duty models is seen as a safer option by many. The 2.7 TurboMax, even though it is a 4-cylinder, may also be a smart alternative for some buyers. If you are considering the 5.3 V8, remember that it also has a history of lifter issues and cylinder deactivation problems. So the question is no longer just, should I buy a GM? The real question is, which GM engine should I buy? Because choosing the wrong engine can turn into years of expensive repairs and lost confidence. GM's V8 crisis teaches us one important lesson. A bigger engine does not always mean a more reliable engine. A badge, horsepower number, and brand reputation are not enough. Today, before buying a vehicle, you need to research the engine's history, owner complaints, recalls, and long-term reliability. So what do you think? Is GM's 6.2 L87 V8 really causing a major loss of trust? Or is this problem being exaggerated? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more automotive breakdowns like this, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. In the next video, we will look at more engines you should think twice about before buying.